All right, I think the stream should be up now. Cool. Let me just quickly check. And yep, looks like got the notification. Our stream is up. Cool. So, today we are going to be going through updating the resource cards. I'm pretty much finished with the uniques and the unit cards. So, as a quick sort of reminder, the resource cards in the game are these cards with the silver border here. And these are kind of like your spells. In other card games, resources are broken down into artifacts, constructs, and siege weapons. And then the artifacts are further broken down into enchantments and traps, and then sort of further broken down into their sort of like spell speed, quote unquote, as other cards might call it. Cool. We have one beautiful viewer here. I appreciate that. You have been summoned. Yeah, sure, sure. Thanks for stopping by. I know it's kind of approaching dinner time, depending on where you're living, but thanks for swinging by. So yeah, let's see. So this is what the cards kind of used to look like for the resources. As you can see, a lot of notable changes. Yeah, I'm just looking through the effects here. Cool. So I think I've kind of changed how status effects work in the game. Before you would like inflict burn as like an actual effect, and then burn was a thing where if the unit was destroyed, it would deal a point of damage to its controller's leader. But that was since changed to basically uh, burn in the new game, or in the new version of the game, is something a little bit more just kind of like effect damage. So let's see, we're going to copy this and paste it here. Oh, wow. Looks like my program is running pretty slow today. That's a little irritating. Yeah, and this card art is a little bit, I don't know if I want to say outdated per se, but it is definitely in need of an update.
I took a 3-mile walk. First one in a long time.
Okay.
You proud of me?
Anyway, you can ignore that. Okay, let's see, what was the cost? So I have that for a 3-cost. Kind of like. Cool. So this yellow over here, well, this, first of all, this value is the rank. On the old version of the card, it was just kind of purple with like the number. But I kind of did this here for like the rank symbol. It's supposed to sort of emulate the kind of like military ranks, like their different grades of like positions, like, you know, like lieutenant and general and admiral, etc. And like those have different corresponding markings. I gave this an outer shadow. I don't like that. I think I want to give this a glow. How does that look? Ooh, kind of like that, actually. Let's tone down the visual. Yeah, I like that. Sweet. Okay. Let's change the cost. So I kind of like the idea of having this card being able to be played in like a wide variety of decks. So even though it does require a Pyro token to play it, I was thinking that the main cost would come from just sort of like generic tokens. And because it has a Pyro cost, that means that it is a red card and not colorless, so we got to switch that out. Cool. And then I think I had it as a rank 3. My current plan is to make ranks kind of 1 through 6. Wow, that is not centered. That is concerning. Okay. I don't like that. I kind of copied this template over in a couple other. Oh, I see. Yeah, the 2 just kind of looks funny. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna nudge that 2 up a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, there's kind of an annoying thing where it's like, even though that technically like it's centered horizontally or vertically, just by the design of the numbers, you have to kind of nudge it one way or the other. Yeah. But yeah, so a recent sort of sub update that I've done is I have made the cost bar up here, which, how is that black? Good. Amass TCG. Oh, I appreciate you swinging by. I know that last time when I announced it in the Discord, it was kind of like, hey guys, I'm doing a stream, and then I ended it like 5 minutes afterwards. So I appreciate that you're here to kind of check it out. Anyway, as I was saying, my most sort of sub update to the updates is I added in making this the sort of class type breakdown bar, also kind of the same color as like the little border here. I know that's a little bit more so like the Magic format, which is something I kind of wanted to avoid, because I mean everybody sort of designs their games and their games and like visuals around the Magic sort of style, and I want to kind of break away from that. But at the same time, like, you got to appreciate that it works, and it's worked for them for, you know, a few decades. So we're not going to abandon it just yet. Okay, let's see what else is there. So the effect is target unit is inflicted with burn. That's an enter, and then there's a pay effect of pay 1 Pyro token. Amass says that he's glad to be here. I am also glad that you're here. Everybody's just happy. So destroy target unit with burn. Okay. I think we can keep that. Oh, and Aether Games is here. Oh wow, this is just a superb party. All of the coolest people on the internet are here at once. Thanks, guys. For those of you who are watching and haven't checked out Amass TCG and Aether Games, you guys are really missing out. Aether has a really fun kind of little news sort of updates about other card games in the community, and Amass is working on developing their game as well. So yeah, I really appreciate Aether, that your videos kind of call out and support other, you know, homemade trading card game developers because, you know, like we're pretty small, and obviously not everybody knows about everybody else. So little shout outs, I think, are a really cool thing. I'd like to do that in a future video. I know, buddy. Neither do I, Amass. Don't feel bad. Now I'm very distracted. Very true, Sophia. You got to get your stuff together. You got to get to work on your own card game. Everybody else here is a hard-working creative type. So what is your excuse? No, I'm just giving you a hard time, sweetie. Burn target. Yeah. Join us. Aether says, I try my best to cover the community. I got into it after all due to the old TCG news guy. Definitely not working. I just portray myself that way. I wouldn't say that, Aether. You upload plenty. Yeah, that's... Med school is not an excuse, Sophia. Whoops, it looks like I flipped my card effect upside down. Cool. Pre-med school, med school, they're all excuses, Sophia. I think you just need to find a hobby, like making a card game. Burn target. Cool. So I'm not sure how I feel about this, but like the backgrounds for these resource cards are looking kind of dark. I might have to go back in later and brighten that up, but at the same time, I like the sort of neutral, subtle background so that I can kind of accentuate the card art. Not that the card art is super impressive or anything, but I'm just too lazy to do like backgrounds. So I feel that Aether, that you can appreciate that, because I know that, you know, all of your cards don't have like super unique backgrounds per se. Not to knock your game in any way, but you know, people who have more time on their hands are able to do stuff with like really fancy landscapes or like complex set design, and I just don't have it in me. I just don't have it in me. I haven't done a card art in a while. I have updated a couple actually pretty recently. Let's see. There was the Sphinx, and Dane calling me out on YouTube. Hey man, I'm not calling you out. All I'm saying is, all I'm saying is that you don't have super involved backgrounds on all of your cards. And that's okay, dude. I like the lore and style, visual style of your game anyway. So I don't think you really need it, you know? Keep it darker. Let's see, man. Right. So, as a quick explanation, the background here is this purple and blue because originally, well, not originally, sorry, but for artifacts, I have the traps and I have the enchantments. And so the enchantment background was going to be blue, and then the traps have this red background. And red and blue together is, you know, obviously purple. So as like an intermediary color to connect the two, it's sort of like purple is the color for artifacts. And that's why if I hop back for a quick second, you see that this was purple because that was the idea. And then this was supposed to be the symbol for kind of resources, and then the glow was blue to associate it with the blue for enchantment. And then I had like a little symbol here, which was, I mean, I kind of like the look of the symbol, but I just sort of wanted to cut back a bit on the number of symbols that I was using, because there's like a balance between using symbols over words so that there's like a quick visual cue, and having like an entire codex of different symbols that players have to memorize, and nobody likes that. Aether says, nah, but I agree. I respect the people who can do the complicated ones, but it is very time consuming in an already very time consuming hobby. Exactly, exactly. You get it. You get it. Kindred spirit. Okay. Shoot. So I don't know how well this effect will translate with the new game, because before it was just a simple matter of like this card is burned and then this effect would target a card that was burned. But with the new status affliction philosophy, that might be more tedious than it's worth. Yeah, keywords are also like a big thing. For my game, for the larger custom-made decks, I was gonna have just a couple like reference cards that have all like the different effect icons and some of like the major keywords, so that players can just have a quick reference to something like what does burn do? What does submerge do? I have traits. I think I have like 30 traits. And so I try to explain what the traits do on the cards themselves. But for the most part, I try to keep, like, if it's simple, I try to like have a symbol associated with it. If it's a little bit more complicated, then I try and spell it out for new players. Even though that, like, veteran players will more or less memorize all of them. Um, just to like always keep new players in mind for the sake of card design and effect design as well, I suppose. Cool. So since I have some fellow content creators here with me today, I would like to ask you guys what sort of art programs that you guys use to work on your cards. As you can see, I use Affinity Designer for the cards themselves, and I use Krita for the card art. I'm assuming that you guys probably use like Adobe Illustrator, but I was just curious. Okay, so that's yellow for pay. And then it's a little annoying. Oh, there we go. Affinity Designer after you recommended it. Oh, but for card art, I use Clip Studio. Okay, I can respect that. I haven't really used Clip Studio myself very much, but as I understand it, there are a lot of people who say that it works pretty well for them. Although I do appreciate that you have used Affinity Designer due to my recommendation. I think that is grounds for a sponsorship, if you ask me, from Affinity Designer. But they just haven't followed up with me, and that's just not cool, So I think I'm gonna have to write an angry email about it to them. Amass, what do you say? Illustrator for components, Photoshop for textures, InDesign to put everything together, and Krita for artwork. Oh wow! So multi-program content creator. Fascinating. Cool. So InDesign. I think InDesign is in another Adobe program, right? I'll have to look that up. it's too far over. Yep, cool. Yeah, you know, I'm going to keep it real with you. Do not have the funding for the big three, right? I just don't have the funding for the Adobe programs, even though that like they have that student thing for what is it, like $20 a month for like each program. I just don't have the money for that because Affinity Designer was just the one-time fee of $50, and I got it on sale for 35. So I think it was like a 40% off type thing. Cool. What was my flavor text? Cool. Oh, I forgot to change the name. Exactly. I remember when I was younger, Aether, that there's like the whole thing with the lifetime subscription where you could just pay like a couple $100 and then like you were good forever. Like you'd have like a permanent license. But now they're like, oh, you have to have a subscription based kind of system, and it's insane. So amass, okay, $33 a month for all 20 apps and fonts and images. You have to have it anyway for college. Yeah, I lucked out in that my college has like an open access computer lab for everyone who goes there. Of course, you know, you can't like take the program off the computer and install it onto your personal laptop. Um, but while I was there, I thought it was pretty sweet. I was using After Effects to make videos. I think only like 2 or 3 videos because I was working on a couple projects where I think they're only like 3 to 4 minute videos, you know. But when I would export it, it would take like 3 to 4 hours, and I think part of that is due to like the school's internet connection and like our computers were pretty old, but there was also like a lot of data that had to be compressed and rendered in the After Effects kind of program. So it's probably just a little bit of both in regards to why that took so long. But the security guard would come after me like every day because I would go in, I would work on my video, and um, I would hit export, and I have no control over like how fast the export's gonna go, right? And like we're supposed to get out of there at midnight, and you know, like here it is, like 11:55, and he's trying to like kick me out, and I'm like, hey man, like I'm really sorry, my video like is almost done, and like I promise, like as soon as I'm done, like I'm gonna get out of here, right? And he would like get mad at me, like it was my fault, you know, that my video wasn't done exporting. Like, what do you want me to do about it, dude? With Media Encoder, comes with Adobe After Effects. I see. Well, I'm sure I probably wasn't exporting in the most efficient way. Um, so I wish I had known about Media Encoder though, if that helps a lot. Because God, it took forever, and I was not a happy camper. Let's see, yellow. Kind of like the yellow. Like it. Oh, nice. Cool. So yeah, the fire staff and what did I call this one? The bolt staff. Let me check really quick. Yep, the fire staff and bolt staff are sort of like these twin staffs that exist in the game, and I made both of them, or like the card art, in Affinity Designer. As you can tell, it's like a very clean vector-based. Premiere Pro is even worse. Takes 10 minutes to display 10 seconds. Yeah, dude, it's insane. I saw a few videos amass about like reducing export time, but I don't know, it was a little bit complicated, and you had to like mess with the settings in a way that was just very tedious, and I just wasn't patient enough to do that. Right. So as I was saying, the Bolt Staff and Fire Staff are both cards that I made in Affinity Designer, and there's lots of like little details that get lost when like you zoom out. Like there's a little kind of 3D bubble effect I put on here. There's like this banding on the handle and a little shine at the bottom here. But I think even at small distances, it looks pretty cool. Anyway. Shock target unit. Cool. And then since it is a Volt type card, we will make that white. All right, and then gotta change the cost. Yeah, I didn't even think of like using Affinity Designer to do card art until I saw just like a couple of videos of people doing like illustrations on Illustrator, and I was like, oh, like I never thought of that. But like, there's obviously just like this really cool sort of clean look to like having very sharp straight lines for something like the staff lightning bolt, or like the glow effects. Obviously you can do that in whatever drawing application that you are using. But yeah, I'm trying to think of who the YouTuber was that was uploading those videos. Shoots, sorry, I can't remember. But I'm sure if you just type in like Adobe Illustrator, like vector art, that you'll find tons of videos. A lot of them that I saw were sort of like architecture or building based stuff. And then a couple of them I saw were like landscape scenes. And there's like, like trees, and like there's even really cool stuff you can do that they did with like water and like shadows and like reflections. And it was just like a lot of new effects I hadn't even seen. And yeah, I mean, obviously, like when you have stuff like Adobe Illustrator, there's like it's like the premier program for designers to use. So of course it has tons of different effects and stuff. But like I think that for the price for Affinity Designer, there's quite a few effects that come with it as well. Like you can blur stuff, you can do Illustrator calls it drop shadow, but Designer calls it outer shadow. There's inner shadow, glows, the 3D bubble effect. I don't know if you need to improve your backgrounds, Aether. I think your backgrounds look pretty cool. But at the same time, I am a firm believer in, the idea that artists can always improve their work. So if that motivates you to go out and improve your backgrounds, then all right, man. You have my full support. But at the same time, I would say don't feel bad about, how your backgrounds look now. Okay, and then Sophia, don't give me that right now. As I have already explained, his backgrounds look very cool. Okay, I think you should go right now to his channel and check out his content and see for yourself. Hmm. Okay, Sophia. Now who's the sassy one? So I haven't checked yet today, but last time I checked, this channel is almost at 10 subscribers. And I think if we could just get that to 10, I think like we were at 9, I think that would be very awesome. Anybody, of course, who's watching this video later and isn't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate the subscription. Of course, if you don't enjoy my content, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe, only if you're interested. I know that my content has been a little slow lately, not nearly as slow as, of course, my other channel, which has now just become a personal goof off channel. But I am working on uploading more content. I see 10. Oh, that's beautiful, Aether. I appreciate the update. So we're officially in the double digits. I expect my check from YouTube to come in the mail any day now. I was pretty close to you sub before the stream, so I'm at 10. Oh, it was you, Amass. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have tried to subscribe to everybody who posts in the homemade trading card game with this account. However, at the same time, I'm positive I haven't subscribed to everyone, so I am going to check out people's channels, because I have like that special channel in our Discord dedicated to promoting yourself, so that not for like every new video, of course, but like if you have an active YouTube channel, I figured you could just post a link in that channel so that you could just say like, hey guys, I have a new video up, like check it out on my channel, and you could post the video in your games channel, or you could just say, check out my channel in the like your channel. And I realized I said channel a lot, so that's probably a little bit confusing if you're not in the Discord. But for those of you who are, hopefully that made sense. Yeah, so I dropped this cost down just a little bit because shock, all shock really does is just like exhaust a unit. Fire staff, I kept that at 2 because like you're dealing 2 damage, or well, I guess not 2, but like the fire plus 2. Oh, Amass. I totally understand. I have a few weeks left in my degree before I graduate. So fortunately, I hope to show off my cards in my like final exhibit that we get to do for the senior seminar. And so that's why I've been working on this, because it's not just like a personal project, it's also for school. That's how I justify it to myself at the very least. I'm just not sure how I want to go about showing off my cards, because it's like a final exhibit and you're supposed to like show off like what you've been doing these past few years. And I don't know. There's just not a lot of work that I've done that I'm like super proud of that I want to show people. Oh, the shaman staff. I forgot about this one. What does it say? So I just gotta get a little water here. I've been talking for a while. I think it was Astrom Cross who used to have like a Saturday podcast that he would do with fellow TCG creators. And I don't know if he still does that. I get a lot of like YouTube notifications, so I get like lost in the sauce a little bit. All these staffs want to make you play Terraria. Oh, you know, everybody's been talking about Terraria lately, at least since like the last big Minecraft update. And I have nothing against Terraria. It looks pretty cool. I've just never played it. Um, and I hadn't even played Minecraft until last year, and I got really into it. And I'm really excited for the new Caves and Cliffs update. Although I guess it's more so like two updates now, as I understand it, because they're kind of breaking it up into like a summer release and then like a winter release. But yeah, Amass, are you excited for the new Minecraft updates? Or anybody else watching? Never played Minecraft. Oh, you're just gonna break my heart like that, Amass. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate that kind of negativity on my channel. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of really cool Minecraft mods. I'm a chump, and I played Bedrock on the Xbox because my tablet is not conducive to high quality Minecraft gameplay. I'm hoping to fix that by getting a really kick-ass two-in-one laptop at the end of the year, so I can like actually play games. So something that has like really high performance because it helps with like all this rendering for all the different elements for the cards, because that kind of gets bogged down really quickly because there's like a lot of little tiny effects that like will slow down the program. He had me play with him. Yeah, Sophia, that was great. I had a lot of fun playing with you because it was really fun to like teach you how to play, and you've got really scared about like every mob that would come after us. And there's that one witch that that was that was like just haunting your house, and we just couldn't get rid of it. And I thought that was the funniest thing. Okay, what was the effect? Let's see. Send target unit from the void to your hand. Oh, okay. You can inflict it with madness. Yeah, creepers. Creepers are terrifying. They just sneak up on you and then they hiss and then like you just die. And that's it. Do not mock yourself. uh, I love how like we've all had the universal shared experience of like a creeper just walking up and just blowing up all of your stuff. And God, I remember I had like a couple creepers in my base that were near my like or not my resource. The my room of chests and resources, whatever. Um and I got like just got really scared because I was like, please don't blow up. And then I was able to, of course, destroy it from afar with my bow. But then I was foolish enough to make like another tree farm underneath my storage room, and I did not know that the trees would grow through the blocks. And so I come back up and I see that half of my chests have been destroyed when I was growing trees, and there's just hundreds and hundreds of items that are like floating around at the bottom. And I was like trying to like transfer all of my items like really quickly to like a new storage room, and I lost like half of my stuff, and I was heartbroken. And honestly, like I stopped playing Minecraft because I was trying to fight the Wither under my base, and it just broke my game. It was destroying so many items that the game just like kept crashing. and then like it would restore its health, and like I kept dying and then like respawning and then like coming at it with new with my gear, and then it would kill me and then my gear would blow up. And it was a vicious cycle. And then like it just crashed the game so hard that at one point the wither just despawned entirely. And I was just like none of my like buildings or anything had like really been destroyed, but I was just so like ashamed. I just couldn't play anymore. So then I started watching Hermitcraft, and that's how I get my Minecraft fix. So that's my story. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Do you have any tragic Minecraft stories that you'd like to share? Sorry, I got distracted here. Let's see. It is the second step, and they're just so much fun. Sophia especially loves watching Grian because he's just a little rascal, and I agree with that sentiment. Grian is the superior hermit. Changed my mind. I don't know. I think it depends, because like Mumbo is the superior redstone hermit. Um, and Tango makes really fun games. I'm really excited for him to finish up that Among Us mini game that he's working on. Um, this count as over summoning from the void. Yeah, Pacific was just a terrible business venture. They just don't invest any time into it, and they have not been advertising it very well. So I think it's just a lost cause. Yeah, I'll eventually look into the Third Life stuff. I just I just don't really care right now. But I'll see. I watched Green's video. I haven't finished it yet. And then yeah, I think like Scar died in the first video because his title was like "Rip Me." Yeah, I agree, Aether. I don't know, just something about trying to sell Redstone just doesn't pan out very well. Not like Redstone itself as like as an item, but like Redstone machinery. Although I really like the concept of Pacific, I think their banking system is pretty neat. And like the Pacific coins that like are subject to inflation and deflation. It's like kind of a nifty little social experiment. Yeah, he does. See, there we go. Um, Cool. So I added in this little clause here because I want to make this a useful card for the Fossilsaur archetype, which has a couple effects that relate to like oversummoning a unit from the void. Cool. So I think I will make this a 2 Umbral, and then 1 generic. I've been trying to reduce the costs of cards so that you can play more cards like just on the field, because I really wanted the game to be more about kind of your strategy and tactics on the field of battle as opposed to doing card combos that allow you to just like play lots of cards, because my game has like the whole element of like moving your legions around, and like you can't just win a game by like playing a card and having it attack. Your legion has to move around and defeat your enemy leaders. So I figured it would be okay to like reduce the cost of cards, so long as, because like there's just a lot of units that just get destroyed during a game, and if cards cost too much, then you're not going to be able to like have a lot of fun with strategically, moving around your legions. But if they're too cheap, then it's like you can just instantly summon an army and then just overwhelm your enemy. And that's just not fun either. So, there's always the difficulty of balancing out cards. I tried to adopt a sort of like magic system of like 1 token per power. Obviously, that's like a little more complicated when you're dealing with cards that aren't, like units, don't have power, like these resources. Ooh, oh, I like that yellow. That's cool. I'm really glad that I took the extra effort to like make this border the same color as the little border here, and like this too, because I think it just helps to say like, hey, this is a yellow card. Because like for new players, like you see this is a yellow card. This is a little bit harder because it's like white and it kind of blends in with the silver, but it's more obvious on the black frames. But yeah, yellow, white, red, and this is colorless. I know it's like a dark kind of a black. I I hope that's not too confusing for like new players. But yeah, and then yeah, Aether definitely understands the struggle of card balancing. Like it's nerve-wracking because like until you have a well-established like almost equation and like formula for figuring out how to best like balance your cards and like what you want them to compare them to, it's very tricky. Right, but as I was saying, actually I can't show you right now, unfortunately. Actually, yeah, I can. If I can find it. Oh, here we go. So, this is kind of a little sneak peek of a future set release. But for the first 3, maybe even 4 sets, depending, all the cards are going to have Yu-Gi-Oh! Still doesn't have that formula. Oh my goodness, Amass, don't even get me started on the horrible power creep in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not even like super deep into like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, and I still can like recognize how insane the power creep is. But anyway, as I was saying, in a future set, because I am going to mess around a little bit with the cost of cards, because to keep things simple for new players, the cost of a card is always going to be just one element and then maybe like a generic, which is kind of this extra little white circle with just like a number in it. So there's not going to be like fire and water cost cards. It's going to be like all fire or all water. However, in a future set, what I'm going to do is introduce multicolored cards. And how that's going to work is you're going to have cards that look like this. So this is a little bit confusing for people who aren't too familiar with the game, but even though these tokens themselves are yellow, these are not referred to as like yellow elements. They are elements that belong to the yellow color. So to back up just a little bit, there are 4 main colors in the game. There is yellow, blue, red, and white. And each of the 4 colors have 2 elements associated with them. So yellow has light and dark, and yellow is this color of balance. I won't get too into the color philosophies. I hope to make a video on that soon, just to like explain it to kind of new players. But blue is a reactionary color. It's reactionary and it's kind of isolationist. So we have water and wind. And for red is aggressive and like expansionist. So that is fire and earth. And then for the last one, we have white. And white, it's kind of a little bit more abstract, but I would describe it as as like ends. It's like the past and the future. It's like everything and nothing. So we have things, it's like the extremes on like different sides of a spectrum, I guess is how I would put it succinctly. So white is a volt, which is like electric or lightning and like technology. And then there's null, which is sort of cards that don't belong to a particular element besides, of course, null. So it's kind of like colorless, but just like as an element. And this particular element deals a lot with cards that are discarded or are removed from the game. Like Yu-Gi-Oh calls it banishing and Magic calls it exiling. But in my game, I call it lost or like losing a card. And so, long story short, in future sets, I'm going to have these multicolored cards. And this is how I'm going to display that fealty is the term I use in the game. So this is for 2 colors, and this is what a 3-color card would look like. So this would be yellow, red, and blue. Reminds you of black cards in DBZ. I haven't really played the Dragon Ball trading card game, so I'm not quite sure how that comparison fits, but I trust that you understand it, Amass, and I'll just make a note to look into that, and I'll have to get back to you on that later. Is the Dragon Ball Z trading card game like decently popular? It's kind of meh. I see. Just bounced off yours. Yeah. I have a video on my old channel, Aether, that sort of goes into the philosophy of the card or the colors a little bit more, but that video got a copyright strike because I accidentally used music from a YouTube channel where they were like, you can use our music, but you have to like pay for it on our site. And I don't know, I guess I just didn't understand that from their description, because like I've used music from like other YouTube videos and their description says our music is free to use, just credit us in the description. But I guess that's like a really old video and I just pulled like a complete noob YouTuber kind of move and just like didn't recognize that for some reason. So that's the only copyright strike on my channel. I think I took the video down, and if I didn't, it's because I'm saving it so I can like remake it with different sound. But yeah, that's the status of that. Ah, beautiful. The Gekmuffin MacGuffin. This is this card art is like this is the first thing. YouTube audio library. Yeah, you know, I just don't like the selection in the YouTube audio library, and I've literally only had the one problem with that one video for copyright stuff. Everybody else has been like, yeah, you can use our music, it's fine, don't worry about it. But anyway, so this very strange card is the Gekmuffin MacGuffin, and it's based off of the idea of a MacGuffin in like movies and books. And for those of you who have never heard of the term, MacGuffins are kind of items that propel the plot forward. Usually it's something kind of random, but it's just sort of something that like really gets the story going. An example of, yeah, I would not recommend eating this muffin. No. It's far too valuable a mass. Can't you see the jewels in the crown? You're not supposed to eat the muffin. Are you insane? You don't just eat the I can't even say it. The Gekmuffin MacGuffin. It's far too valuable to be eaten. A famous example of a MacGuffin would be the plans to the Death Star in the Star Wars movie. And Star Wars gets away with it because they hide the MacGuffin in R2-D2. And because we love R2-D2, then I see muffin I eat. Because we love R2-D2, like we care about the MacGuffin because it's like inside of him. Telling me I shouldn't do it makes me unwant. See, that was my plan, Aether. I want you guys to care about the Gekmuffin MacGuffin card. This is all clever propaganda, and you fell for it. It's clever marketing. You're an absolute fool. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of the card art for this because like this is the first thing that I drew on my Krita app, and I was just like, look at all these weird and wacky different brushes I can use. Because before I was using another program, I can't even remember what the program was called. Oh, that's so frustrating. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I was using Krita, and I was like, there's so many new brushes I can use because my old program had like very limited brushes. And this is something. Aether's got it right. Excuse me. This is kind of one of my earlier art pieces where I didn't do line work. I just sort of like went in and started plotting down like colors, and I know the shape is pretty muffiny, but I definitely messed up like the texture. I think the wrapper looks pretty cool because like it's dark in the center here and it's like lighter up here. These gems are like just, I don't know. I there's something charming about the style that I like personally. If it doesn't work for you, you know, you think it looks pretty garbage, I totally understand. But I don't know, there's just something corny about it that I just really like. And the effect is a little bit complicated, admittedly, but I'll see if I can explain it. So basically, in my card game, kind of like in Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have the like spell slots, In my card game, you have artifact zones, and so the idea is that like you play this card, and that it doesn't really have a specific cost. You can pay any cost up to 10 tokens, and then like you take that cost, like let's say like you pay 10 tokens, then you can wager like 5 zones. And so like you flip coins, all right? And then as long as like you get a certain number of like heads, you can gain control of the wagered artifact zones. So and then of course like if you lose, then you lose control of your artifact zones. But it's like a risk of like you can sort of like prevent your enemy from playing resource cards, and you gain extra zones to play more of your resource cards. Was like the thinking. However, unfortunately, I the current wording here is a little bit confusing. So I'm gonna shut up for a little bit and see if I can make sense of this in a way that is a little bit more straightforward. Hmm. Okay, Aether. Thanks for swinging by. I'm probably gonna end the stream after this card anyway, so don't feel bad about heading out. I really appreciate you, just dropping in to say hi and engage with the stream. Last time, I didn't really tell anybody, but nobody really showed up. So, just thanks for hanging out. Have a good one, buddy. Okay, so that was the easy part. Now for the hard part. Ooh, I will have to come back and hide those later. Yeah, I like it too. I think that the kind of lightning bolt is like pretty universal symbol for like the instant speed stuff. My other symbols to just take a quick break here are, so this is my symbol for equip. I don't have um, a very good explanation for how it's equipped. My thinking was just sort of like that it looks like these are smaller elements attached to like a larger sort of cross. So it's like the little squares are being like equipped to the larger cross. And the cross is also like a symbol of, it's like a plus sign. So it's like addition. It's like you're adding something onto another card. This is a little bit more straightforward. This is for like the constant effects or like the continuous. So there's like, the infinity. This is for a response effect. So it's like if you have one card effect that does something, then this effect is going to be triggered based off of like another card doing something. And then, of course, we have the instant one, which is just that, super quick lightning bolt instant flash. Yeah, I also like Montserrat, mainly because it's free to use. Railway is a pretty cool font. I used it for a project. I've never used Banguyat. I don't even know how to say that. Bang. I'm not even going to try. But I'll have to look into that. I actually, we'll take a quick break and look that up. Banguyat. Oh, oh, I also like that. That's kind of fancy. Yeah, there's a pretty cool flair to that. I think it's a little too stylized for, uh, like card effects, unless that's your game's aesthetic. In which case, go ahead and use it. I just kind of like using a kind of sans serif font for card effects because it's just a little bit easier. Yeah, use it for a mass. Yeah, that makes sense. Your card game does have a little bit more of like a fancier aesthetic to it, so that would make sense for your stuff. Cool. Yeah, I like it though. There's like a very classy kind of look to it with like the serifs, a little bit of flair. I just do the like a sans serif Montserrat font because it's just a little easier to read at smaller sizes and looks a little bit more like modern. I'm kind of mixed on my opinions of like the modernist design because like I like minimalism in the sense that you have to be really clever about what ideas you keep and how like you keep things simple while still conveying a lot of information. I think that at the same time, it goes a little bit too far in some modern redesigns. Like the Pringles logo redesign, I don't like because he just has like the black mustache. He doesn't have any hair, and it's just like the white circle face and two dot eyes. And I think that takes away like a lot of the personality of the Pringles. We'll just look it up. I don't want you guys to be confused. Pringles redesign. Oh, whoopsie. See, like, look at that. That breaks my heart. Like we have the classy, like brown mustache and little reflection in the eyes and like the brown hair, and now it's just like this very soulless white and black look, and the Pringles isn't even outlined. And yeah, they're trying to be all like emotive with the eyebrows, and like the eye kind of design. But I just don't like it. It just feels very soulless to me. Just black and white, and he doesn't even have hair anymore. They deprived my boy of his hair. So yeah, that was sorry, sorry. That was my little rant on minimalism. It lost the class. It did. It did lose the class. Not that like a potato chip company needs to have class, but damn it, the Pringles can needs to have class. Like they're one of the only um, potato chip companies that don't sell you a package that's just half air. Their cans are full, like almost all the way to the top, and I respect that, and that's pretty damn classy. And for them to take that class away from Mr. Pringle, mm-mm, I just I just can't respect that. Pringles are incredible. Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, Mass. Thank you for dropping by as well. I appreciate you, talking with me so that I don't feel quite as lonely during this stream. And I appreciate your insights. So, have fun at your next class and learn lots. Value your education. Okay, I think it might just be me now. If you get less than y hat of the opposing. Ooh. Value education. Okay. There's a lot of words here. I'm gonna have to fix that. Shoot. That is a lot of words. Guess we'll just have to keep that simple. Okay, so just going to take a quick second to add in these little squares to cover up the overlap. And bam, how well does that work? Oof, that does not work. Boom, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, because you can see the little corners peeking out. Cool, okay. So, there's still a lot of words there, but I think it makes sense. The idea is that you target an enemy's artifact zone. Let's say it's zone number 4. And then you flip 4. See, that seems a little too difficult. We'll say get at least. Oof. Yeah, okay. So like if it's zone 4, you'd have to get at least two of the 4 coins have to be heads for you to gain control of it. And then if it's anything less than that, so like if you fail, the opposing player gains control of your respective artifact zone. Cool. Yeah. So then the most it would be, let's see. So you can't go up to, oh, you know what? Maybe you can. Why not? No one's gonna pay 10 tokens anyway. Or 12 tokens. But hypothetically, you could gain control of your opponent's like rank 6 artifact zone. Although that's very unlikely, and it would require you to flip at least 3 heads out of 6 coin flips, which is, like 50%, but it's still pretty risky because you would be sacrificing your rank 6 artifact zone if you lost that. Okay. Cool. And then once this card is finished up, I think we're going to call it a day here. While I do have a lot of fun doing these streams, they're not as productive as I would like for them to be, because I spend a lot of time getting distracted and just talking about stuff that I get excited about. Not that I'm not having fun with that, of course. I very much appreciate all the support that I have received from those who come and, say hi during these. And, of course, I am still learning how to make these entertaining for everyone. And, yeah, let's see. That is auto. Cool. Okay. And as far as card effect or cost is concerned, we're just going to make this a big ol' X. I just got to find where that is. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, and then since this doesn't have a specific element, this is a colorless card. Okay, and all right. So a lot of words there. I tried to make it as straightforward as I could, though. So we'll we'll have to see how this card goes over in playtesting. But I thank you all for joining me today. And as always, make sure to subscribe and comment the favorite card that you saw in today's stream